Hey, how's it going, guys? In this video series, we're going to build a YouTube channel video scraper in Python. Alright, so this is going to be a pretty, how should I say? So this is going to be a real project that you can actually put this on your resume. And that's just my opinion. Especially if you are going to apply for any position that relate to data analytics, such as a data analyst position or data engineer position. Alright, so here's the outcome that I'm going to create. And here, let me put on my PowerPoint. So I'm going to break down this series into 4 videos. So for video number 1, we're going to learn how to construct a class to communicate with YouTube Data API. And we'll learn how to create YouTube Data Service instance. We'll also create some methods to streamline some of the data extraction work. And for video number 2, we're going to take the data that we retrieved from video number 1, and we're going to push the data set to a Google Sheets using the Google Sheets API. And for the third video, I want to show you how we can take the output from video number 1. We can save the result set in Excel file using pandas module. And the fourth video, which is the last video, I think, we're going to use Win32 module to store the data and save the data in Excel file. And Win32 module is for Windows only. If you're using Mac or Linux, then this will not apply to you. Now let's take a look at the result set. So here's the information or the result set that we're going to extract from a channel's upload video. I'm going to use this channel, Google Maps platform channel. And if we look at how many videos this channel has 58 videos. We're going to extract a channel's upload videos video ID, video title, duration, and this is going to be in second. And whether or not if a video is licensed content, the date when this video is uploaded, and the video tags, thumbnail URL. So this one is if you're interested in getting the image file. So here's the thumbnail, and we're going to extract the URL to access those raw images as well. The view count, like count, dislike, comment count, and the video URL. So just this information. Alright, now let's get started. So before we get started, let me go into my folder. I'm going to create a blank Python script. I'm going to name this as channel scraper. Actually, let's name this channel videos scraper.py. I'm going to assume that you have some experience working with YouTube Data API. You know how to enable YouTube Data API service. You also know how to create a Google project, download the client credential file in a JSON format, and the Google.py source code is in the description below. Now let me launch my VS Code. Right, now let me open the channel videos scraper.py file, and let me increase the font size. Alright, so if you don't have the Google Python client library installed, you can use this command. So pip install -- upgrade Google API Python client. So this is the library that you have to install. And after that, just follow the instruction on how to create a project. And we're going to use OAuth 2.0 client authentication protocol to authenticate an account. And this is another thing I want to mention that. So every day you get 10,000 quota unit for YouTube Data API. And if you go to this page, YouTube Data API overview page, I'll link the link in the description below. And if you scroll down towards the middle, there's a section Here, let me see. Oh, it's this one. So this one's an overview. So basically gives you a quick overview on the type of stuff that you can do with YouTube Data API. We can extract a video's caption, a channel's information, and these are the methods that we can access. And here's a section focused on how to calculate your YouTube Data API quota usage. I want to talk about the quota usage. So if we go to YouTube Data API quota calculator page, and here's the information on when you use a particular API service and how many units of quota that you have to spend. So for example, if you want to upload a video, and I believe it's on the videos that insert. Right, so if you want to upload a video, it's going to cost you 1600 of unit. And that means that every day you can only upload up to here, that was the incorrect calculation. It should be 1600. So every day you can only upload up to 6 videos. And since we're not going to do anything quota intensive type of work, so we'll be using, let's see, so let me zoom in a little bit more. So we'll be using channels list method. So this one only costs 1 quota, and videos list method, which will also cost us 1 unit. Unless you're going to scrape more than 1,000 channels a day, then I don't think you have to worry about exceeding your quota limits per day. Now let's go back to our Python editor. So here's the google.py file. Let me close this file. I'll start by importing the libraries that I'll be using. I'll be using the RE module, which is the module for rig expression. And from ppprint, I'll import a ppprint function. And from Google API client module, I'll import the AS library. And from google.py file, I'll import the create service function. And let me move this to the top. Alright, so we're going to construct the class to communicate with YouTube Data API first. So I'll name this class YouTube. And in the constructor, we're going to let a user to provide a client secret file. So this is basically the client file and the scopes. And it's going to be a list. And we're going to set the default value to none. Then we're going to create our attributes. So the first attribute is going to be the client secret file. And the second attribute is the scopes. Next, I'm going to create a method to construct the YouTube Data API service instance. And I'll name this method construct service instance. And here I'll insert a try except block. I'll print the error message and return as none. Now let's go back to the try block. For the API service, it's going to be YouTube. So this is the API name that we need to provide in API version. And we're going to insert the create service function. And this function takes 4 parameters. The first parameter is asking for the client secret file, API name. This should be API name. And API version and the scopes. And this should be self.scopes. The next method that we're going to create is the get channel video detail method. Using this method, we'll be able to extract all the uploaded videos from a channel. I'll name this method get channel videos detail. And we're going to provide a service object. So these are the parameters and channel ID. And because we don't need to reference any of the attributes, I'm going to convert this method to a regular function using static method. And I'll start by inserting the service argument .channels .list. I'm only interested in the content detail, so for the parts parameter, I'll insert content details. Make sure that the D is capitalized and the channel ID to the ID parameter. That execute. Oops. Now here I'm going to insert if statement from the response object. I want to grab the page info followed by total results. And if the results number is equals to 0, then I know no channel has been found. So insert message channel not found. Otherwise, I'm going to extract the upload playlist ID. So from response.get, I want to grab the items, and it's going to return as a list. I want to grab the first item. And since from our method, we can only provide a single channel ID, we know the items is always going to be the first item. I want to grab the content details, followed by related playlists. And within this dictionary, there are several keys. We want to extract the upload key. She uploads. And let's see. So save the output as uploaded playlist ID. Now let's do some testing. So to see what we have so far. So here I'll insert my main routine. Under my main routine, I'll create my constant variable to store the client secret file. And this file is going to be coming from this file right here. So client secret.json file. I also need to provide my own scopes. And depending on the permission that you want this program to request, I'm going to use the www.googleapis.com/auth/YouTube. Now I want to create an instance of this YouTube class. So I'm going to run the highlighted script. I'll also import my modules as well. So from YouTube class, I'll provide my client secret file and my own scopes. And I'll also construct a YouTube data API service. So from YouTube class, we just create the construct service instance method. So reference this method. Now I'm going to run this 4 lines by itself. Right, so it's going to ask me to choose the account that I want to authenticate. And I'm going to choose my main account. And if you see this page, Google hasn't verified this app. You want to click on Advanced and click on the app name to proceed. Now I want to grant permission to the script, so I'm going to click on allow and allow again. And once the authentication process is complete, you should see this message. The authentication flow is complete. You may close this window. And I'll close this tab. Now going back to my working directory, and here's the token file that I store my authenticated information. So next time when you run the script is going to look at the pickle file first, or the token file. And once it locates the file, it's going to use the information stored in this file and directly pass the authentication process. Now I'm going to reference the get channel videos detail method. And we need to provide a service option and a channel ID. Now let's go back to Google Maps platform channel. And I'm going to grab the channel ID. I'll create a variable to store the channel ID. Alright, so if I run line 41, and here I'm getting an error. Non-type object has no attribute channels. The easiest way to debug is I'm going to use this function called vars function, and I'll print the YouTube instance and have the client secret file. Let me use the function. Alright, so here is saying that my service instance didn't get created successfully. Oh, I know why. Alright, so here I made a huge mistake. So I forgot to return the service instance. Now let me create the YouTube class again. And now let me try again. And because I already have the token file created, so this time when I try to create my service instance, it's going to automatically authenticate my account. I'm going to rerun line 42 again. And I'm getting none. And that means I'm making the same mistake again. So this should return none. And it should return upload upload a playlist ID. I also print the response option. And me hide this and this, since I know those two methods are working correctly already. Let's go back. So I'll recreate my YouTube instance. Now this time I run line 44. So here's my response object, and here's my upload list ID. And we use ppprint function. And it's giving me the same format. Now if we quickly examine this dictionary, so we have the items key, and since we're only providing one channel ID, we're only going to have one item. And from the first record, we want to access the content details key. And if we go back to our script, and here's the content details key. And below that we have related playlists. And since we cannot access the channels likes playlist or the favorites, so that's why it's showing us blank. Now let's go back to the get channel videos detail method. Now we have the uploaded playlist ID. I want to access all the videos under that particular playlist. And I think this is the most difficult part. Figuring out how to extract all the videos information, giving a playlist ID. So here I'm going to insert a try except block. So from the else library .httpl, if we run into this error, then I know the channel does not have any video available. So I'm going to insert message channel does not. Actually, let's do channel has 0 videos. And I want to return empty string. Actually, let's do this. I'll change this to empty string just to keep everything consistent. Then I want to check against the exception error. This is basically the capture error. And I want to print the error message. So usually you are only going to run into the HTTP error. I haven't run into any other error before, but we'll see. So there's always exceptions. Now let's go back to the try block. So from the service argument, playlist items, I want to use this library to extract all the videos giving a playlist ID. I want to use the list method. For the part parameter, I'll extract the content details. And we need to provide the playlist ID to the playlist ID parameter. And it's going to be uploaded playlist ID. And here I want to specify the mixed results per batch. And it's going to be 50, and 50 is the maximum of items that I can extract per batch. And I'll name the output as response playlist. Actually, let me name this as response playlist underscore items. Now, assuming that from the response playlist items object, we have some items available. Here I'm going to insert the response playlist items object. We know this object will contains at least one item, just because if the total results is equal to 0, then this if condition is going to pass and it's going to return us an empty string. So we know there will be at least one item from the response playlist items object. So I want to grab the items and I'll save the output as playlist items. I also want to check if there's a next page token available. I'll use the get method. I'll access the next page token key. And here I'm going to insert a while loop to iterate all the batches. And I'll say that while next page token is not none, I'm going to copy these lines. I'm going to copy and paste. Except that inside the while loop, inside the playlist items list method, I want to add a new parameter called page token. And it's going to be next page token. I'll change the equal sign to extend. And this line will stay the same. Oh, I also want to print the token value. So here I'm going to insert print function. Now let's see what we have so far. So I'm going to insert return statement, return playlist items. Now going back to my main routine, I'll reconstruct the YouTube instance. And this time I'm going to save the output is response. And I'll execute line 74. And let's see, response. And if I use the learn function to count how many items we have inside the response object, we should get 58. And if we go back to the channel's information, and we have 58 on the Google Maps platform channel. So 58 is correct. We should expect 58 results. And if we quickly look at each item or each record, from the content details key, we have video ID and video published date. Now what we need to do is we need to erase every single item from this list, from this big chunk of list. And we just need to extract the video information individually. Oh, actually, let's do this. So I want to do some testing with invalid channel ID. So for this channel, for this channel ID, I'm going to insert X at the end, and that will make the channel ID invalid. I'm going to recreate the channel ID variable. Now if I print channel ID, we have the channel ID with the X at the end. Now if I run line 76, I should expect channel not found message. And what happens if we use a channel ID that has, here, let me use this one. If we use a channel ID that is valid but has 0 video, let me use this person's, so let's use this person's channel. So I'll grab the channel ID, and I'll copy and paste. Now I'm going to run line 76 again, and this time we have channel has 0 videos message. Now we know the try except block is working correctly, so it's captured the error that should be handled correctly. Now we have all the videos giving a playlist ID. Now we're going to extract the video information. Here I'm going to insert list comprehension. I'll insert a tuple. I'm going to say that for feed in playlist items. And I'm only interested in the content details. So content details. And I'll create an empty list. I'll name this list videos info. And because we can only extract 50 records per batch, so here I'm going to insert a loop for batch number in range from 0 to giving the count of from the videos tuple. And we're going to run 50 items at a time. And I'll create a video batch object. So this is going to be a list, and the list is only going to contain the videos that I want to extract. And from batch number to batch number plus 50. Now from the service argument, videos, we want to use the list method. Inside the ID parameter, we want to join all the IDs into one single string. And we can do that using another list comprehension. So here I'm going to join everything using a comma, .join. And I want to insert the video batch list first. From content details, we have 2 items. Video ID and video published date. I only want to grab the video ID. So what I can do is I can use the map function to filter out the video publish dates. I will insert the map function. Inside the map function, I want to provide my function to apply to each record. And I can simplify the process by creating a lambda function. Let's use v. I only want to grab the video ID. And it's going to be my array. Oh, and this should be a list. Right. I want to grab information from snippet, content details, and statistics. For the max results, I want to set that to 50. And let's see. Oh, okay. So from videos info, I want to insert the extend method. And I'll save the responses response videos. And we're going to pass this object to the extend method. And once the loop is finished, then I want to return videos info object. Right, now let me reconstruct this class. Let me just double check, make sure I have everything. Okay. Now let's see what we have so far. So I'm going to rerun everything. And here I'm getting an error. Generator has no learn. So let me take a look. Oh, I think this is the problem. So let me make that a list. Actually, let me try something. Here, let me go back. Let me use the tuple function. Response. Okay, something's off. Right, so now let's debug. Now let me take a look at from which step that I made a mistake. So here response videos. Oh, okay. So here this should be response videos, and I need to grab just the items. I think that was the issue. Content details, response. Oh, okay. So here, here's my typo. This should be content details. Okay, so if I print the response object, and that's going to give us a list with all the uploaded video information back. We know the response object is a list. I'll print the first item. Actually, let me use the ppprint function. Now let's take a look at the information. So here is where you can decide what information that you want to extract or you want to insert to your table. From the contents information, we can extract whether or not if a video has caption, the content rating, definition. That means whether or not if a video is in HD quality or standard quality. And we have the video duration. So the duration is in this format. And this is what I call a PT format. And based on the information provided, I know the video is 4 minutes and 8 seconds long. I want to translate this into seconds. That way when I need to sort the video by duration, then it's much easier for me to do that using just seconds. And other things such as category ID, so that's coming from the snapper category, channel title, channel ID, and publish date. So text is also another important function that a lot of YouTubers like to use. And here we have the thumbnails key, and these are the URLs to different image resolution. So if you want to access the thumbnail image in high quality, they can use this URL. And here's the video title and statistics information. Now I want to go back to duration. I want to write a method to convert this string into just seconds. So here, let's go back to the YouTube class. And I'll minimize this method. Here I'll create another method, and I'll name this method convert duration. And I'll name the parameter duration. Inside the method, I'll insert try except block. And if we run into any error, then I want to return 0. Alright, so here's where regular expression is very handy. I want to insert the RE library. I want to use the search function. And to search for the outward value, I'll insert /, letter D, followed by the letter H. And for the string, it's going to be coming from the duration argument. And it's going to be the first item. I'm going to slice the value. So the function actually comes from a function that I wrote before. Here, let me just copy paste the function. I think that'll be much easier. And this will be minute. So let me change the notes. Minute and second. So basically, this regular expression function is going to check if this pattern finds anything. And if not, it's going to return a 0. Otherwise, it's going to convert the value into seconds. And this one will be minutes, and this one will be seconds. And when we return the result, we're going to add all the values together. And this will give us the total seconds value. Oh, and one more thing. I want to convert this to static function. And that's it. Let me take a look. I don't see the arrow icon. Let me double check something. Okay, I see the arrow icon now. So this is everything I want to cover in video number 1. For video number 2, I'll show you how we can push the result set to Google Sheets using Google Sheets API.